We're going to go live. Welcome guys to Results Driven by RW. Excited that you're here. So sorry for the delay for those that tried to jump on earlier. Hopefully you get in. If not, you will see the recording. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into tonight's session. And tonight we're going to deal with misplaced focus. I want to find out what's shifting you from doing the things that you should be doing and getting you connected to what you should be doing and making sure you're following through on that. So real quick, housekeeping, as we always do, if you can, take notes. We want you to definitely get to a place that hopefully you can. I know some of you are driving, some of you are riding along, some of you are just listening to audio. But if you can, jump on and get some notes. I'm going to drop a few bombshells on tonight. Hopefully that will shake you a little bit. Might even make you a little mad, but hopefully to push you to that next level of greatness. Also, I want to ask that you ask questions. So those of you that are live, please open my chat up. Matter of fact, if you would put your name and your occupation in the chat for me. I want to make sure that my chat is working. So open that up for me. I greatly appreciate it. But please make any comments or thoughts in the chat. I'm going to ask you from time to time to hit that chat because I want to make sure you're engaged to what we're doing. One thing we practice, I believe, as a group is knowing how to be focused in the moment. And one thing about this moment, it will never happen again. So we want to enjoy this very moment that we're in, all right? Also, of course, only unmute when called upon. We will have, I do, some monologue. And then once I get to my monologue, we're going to have some dialogue. In other words, I'm going to share some things with you, but then I'm going to open up the chat lines and we're going to discuss some things and find out how we can better serve you and answer your questions. You know, some questions that you might have hot off the press that you want to know about and you really need to know how to maneuver. We're going to be here to do that for you on tonight. Okay, so let's jump right into it. First thing I want to know about, of course, is this week's wins. And you know how important the wins are because I have a bunch of overachievers on this Zoom call and that will be watching later. And so you bypass all those wins and go right to the losses. I want you real quick for a moment to focus on the wins that you have. I don't care how small, how minute, but let's focus on your wins. So real quick, I'm going to open up my chat. I want to hear about some wins on tonight. What you got? What you got? What you got? You know what, Angie, since you're looking like you got one already, let me know. Give me one good week's win.
Only you know that, Angie.
Hi. I'm trying to help her get on this thing. My win was that actually from my challenge, I gained more social media followers, which gave me a couple more orders, but it opened up new people that I spoke to. That was my win. It was a difference for me, and especially with the networking and the communication that I started having the dialogue with different people. That was a good win for me.
Beautiful. Well, that's a huge win. Matter of fact, I'm gonna wrap up and at the end and talk about some of that 30-day challenge. You know, does that mean that you owe me some pain or you good? You took care of business this time, 30 days?
I did my 30 days I had two 30-day things. One was financially and one was doing the social media. Social media was A-OK 100, but that financial part fell to the side, but I'm still happy about it.
Perfect. All right, well, we'll jump on that. I got a couple more things coming up here this year that's going to help with that situation. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Angie. I appreciate you. All right, who else I got on the Zoom? I need to hear this week's wins. What you got? What you got? What you got? Hey, Mr. T, what's going on, young blood? What you got, man? I know you got at least one good win this week.
What's going on, RW? I actually struggled this week. I was on vacation for the first part of the week, so I went to Roscoe's twice and ate more than I wanted to, but that was one of my goals. That was for the 30-day challenge, was to get fit and in shape, so I blew that this week. This week win, I'm just persistent, just trying to hustle and be prepared for an opportunity. I don't know if I have a big win to say about. So I don't know if I have one.
Well, the good news is you can still make a win by somehow, some way managing to jump on that treadmill in your garage tonight and get about 15 minutes in just for the one time.
I promise you, that's part of the plan. After this call, I'm gonna listen to a podcast and try to do at least 2 miles tonight.
Beautiful. That's all I ask. You know,
Yep.
the good thing is not how you start, is how you finish. So that means
Yes,
that now you
sir.
can finish strong. I like it.
Yes, sir.
I like it, man. Good job. Thanks for sharing, man. Appreciate you. All right, guys, we're gonna jump in. I got a new segment I'm going to pop up, which is going to be our business spotlight. And I'm gonna do our first spotlight on our first business, which is by Miss Delshana. She's gonna share with us a little bit about some stuff that she's getting ready to do. And just so you know, I'm gonna be picking you guys randomly to do this. I wanna hear about what you're doing. I want the group to know what you're doing. And we wanna make sure we expand this network and support each other. So real quick, Delshana, I'm going to stop my share and open it up for you to share and give us 2 minutes of your business spotlight. All right, Delshana, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I am trying to share this. I think I got it. I always gets a little tricky every once in a while. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
This is official. I am Delshana Moore. Amongst other things, one of the things I am is Coach Delshana. And I coach people to not only write their book, finish their book, but also self-publish their manuscripts, their manuals, their poetry, and the like. And so this Saturday, July 2nd, will be my jump on out there, jump on in there, checkmate 30-day challenge, ready to write. I am here to encourage and to guide people in this writing workshop, not only to learn a couple of skills to help them build their writing, but also to write. So it's a workshop. That means you show up to work, you show up to write, you bring your writing utensils, your typing, whatever the case might be. Only 3 hours, one day, 3 hours, highly effective, very intensive, your work done, your writing done your way. And that will be this Saturday from 8 to 11 a.m. And then I'll also be doing something similar the following week, and then something else comes out after that. But for right here, right now, here's what we got, y'all. July 2nd, 2022, ready to write? Join me in the writing workshop.
Awesome, Delshana. That is amazing. I am super excited and pumped to even see the results from you just knocking out that, girl, you lined it up and now you knocked it out the park. I love it. Thanks for sharing. Guys, come on, just clap that up. Come on, clap that up in the audience. That's amazing. Great job. Thank you so much. You know, I feel the love in that. Now, the beautiful thing is, if I can share just 2 seconds on Delshana, is when I first met her, my thing was, girl, what you doing? And now here she is, busting out. And I mean, when I say hit the ground running. Now, I gotta throw this out there. Now, I did kind of mess with her a little bit, and maybe she didn't hold it against me though. But I kind of busted her out a little bit about how she was presenting herself. Delshana, you want to share a little bit about how I kind of, just a little bit. I appreciate you still loving me though.
Absolutely. It's all about the love. I remember a day receiving a phone call from Coach Ron, and I was like, whoa, he's calling me in the middle of the day. What's going on? He said, you have a second? It's a good time? Absolutely. Go for it. He said, listen, don't you ever go back on social media without makeup, without your hair done, like you just woke up. And he just took like a good 15 minutes of scolding me. I present myself and how I need to think about myself and consider myself as I move forward. I can't be a person who serves and services and provides services for people who are elite, who are 6-figure earners. And I show up like I just woke up out of bed and just like open my eyes and say, hey, y'all. So it was a blessing to hear him come from my jugular, because he came like right in this area. He came with it. And but I tell you what, put me right in perspective, put me right in shape. And I have not dropped the ball since. Amen.
Excellent job. I am super proud and excited. I know that sometimes we just need that extra little push to make it all make sense. So thank you so much for allowing me. And I'm going to say allowing me because that's what you did. You allowed me to be able to speak into what you were doing and shifted and elevated. And ever since then, you are absolutely right. You have been on your game. I believe that you are a CEO. And so it's all about when you step out that door, be in CEO mode at all times. Great job. Thank you so much, Delshana, for sharing. That is first segment of Spotlight on Business. I wonder who's next. You know, there's a show called Hip Hop Harry, and they get out there and they play the music and they start dancing and they say, who's next? So we want to hear your stories and see what you're doing and actually be able to hopefully promote what you're doing to see other people be a part of your journey. All right. So real quick, let's jump back into our session for tonight. I want to go ahead and pop this up. Hold on. Wait a minute. So that was our business spotlight, the new segment. Next thing is, what are you focused on? I want to talk tonight about misplaced focus. Now, what I'm learning about more and more about people is they're focusing on things that don't matter. And the key is focusing on what you have, what you do have, instead of what you don't have. A lot of guys I'm talking to, they're so focused on what they don't have, they keep chasing what they do have. But if you change the focus and put it now on what you want, in other words, what do you want to see happen? How do you want to see it happen? Get to the point now that you're envisioning actually what you want and not what you don't want. Here's how it sounds. I sure hope that blah, 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 this don't happen. Right away, your focus is already on the bad side of it. Matter of fact, some of you are falling around in anxiety because you're tripping off the wrong focus. You're focused on bills and this and that and all the wrong stuff. But I want you to change your focus and start focusing on what you really want to happen. In other words, if you're in a bad situation, mental, physical, spiritual, you want to now start focusing on how you want that to look instead of focusing on what it doesn't look like. It's just like being in a relationship and the only thing you're focusing on, you're wrong, you do this, you're doing this, and you're just hammering on what you don't want. Same thing with your kids. How often are you hammering them on what you don't want to see in them and not praising them enough in what you do want to see in them? I challenge you to have the same energy that you were, like some of you get mad, that same energy, I want it to be when you're glad and when you're excited. In other words, start getting to the point now to where you start really focusing in on what you're really wanting to happen within what you're trying to do in your business and in your life. Because of course, you know, I'm gonna hit all areas because I do believe that you can have it all. And saying that, that means that now you have to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. If you're on this little Zoom tonight and you know sometimes your focus can be real bad, type in there, you're talking to me. Because ultimately, a lot of the stuff you're thinking about is what could happen. Here's what I want you to maybe focus just for a second. Number one, you'll never be homeless. Never be homeless. You'll never not have money. In other words, now if I get the worst case scenario out the way, now I can focus on everything else. Some of you is like, well, I might be home. No, wrong focus. I'll never be. It won't never happen. So no matter what I do from this point forward, everything is going to move me to where I want to get to. Start shifting now your focus on what you really want to happen. Right now, what income do you want to make? How many products do you want to sell? Deshauna's putting on this thing on Saturday. How many people are you expecting to be there that you're going to be ready to receive? Angie's got clothing sales. How much clothing sales will you see before you see it? Get to a place now to where you start developing what you want more so than what you don't want. Get away from the, I sure hope this doesn't happen. I sure hope that doesn't happen. Get away from that, okay? Because if not, you'll get stuck in a bad situation. Here's for some other folks to where this is as ancient as Adam and Eve. Remember, the biggest thing about Adam and Eve is that in the garden, this is where the blame game started. Remember, Adam blamed Eve blamed the serpent, and the serpent didn't have a leg to stand on. Hey, that was pretty funny. Anyway, so it gets to a point where the blame game starts, but then also, remember, Eve was in this garden, and what did she focus on? The one thing that she couldn't have. How many of you are like Eve, male or female, that you focus on what you don't got so much to where you go after that and forget about all the other stuff. Think about this, guys. They were in the Garden of Eden. Everything was there. But they focused on the one thing that they couldn't do. And see how that shifted everything. In your life right now, are you focusing on the one thing that will change your life for not the good, but the bad? In other words, are you so focused on failure that you lost sight of real success? In other words, are you looking down to where you're thinking that, well, it's not going to work, or I hope it works. And I need you to get out of Hopeville and get into now knowing that everything you do is going to work. Some of you have heard me talk. I say often, I'm a money magnet. Money is drawn to me. That means that now, no matter what happens in life, money comes to me easily and effortlessly. It's one of those things where now when you start professing that, opening your mouth and believing that, then now that starts happening in your life. But if not, we can get stuck up in the Eve thing. Okay? Now, real quick, let's talk about misplaced priorities. In other words, your focus is important, but you can also do some prioritizing wrong. Anybody having some struggles with your scheduling? If that's you, just type in the chat, you're talking to me. Because seem like you got too much to do and not enough time to do it. But my question is, what are you really focused on? Are you focused on a lot of busy work, stuff that sounds good? Or do you have money producing activity that you're actually working towards? Matter of fact, do me a favor, those that are taking notes, I want you to write a line and saying, what are my money-making activities for my business? What are my money-making activities for my business? Now, you're not going to finish that list right now, but I want you to start asking yourself, what am I doing under that? Or am I doing the before I make money making list? Before I do this, I gotta do this. Before you know it, you're stopped focusing on what you should be doing and focusing on something that just sounds good. It sounds good to work on your marketing all day. And marketing is great, but should that be your full focus when really you should be looking to actually produce and close deals and make sales? Because now I know some of you are real deep and gonna be like, oh, I don't want to just focus on money. Well, you better, unless this is a hobby. Now, if your business is a hobby, it's okay. But if you're in the business to make money, then make sure your focus is on the right thing. Don't get off track. Don't get to the point to where you're sitting there doing stuff that won't produce the things that you want to have. In other words, get your focus right, get your priorities in line. Because right now, what priorities do you have? If you look at your day and you looked at what you actually have processed and accomplished that day, then I want to know what brought you in income just today. Now, some of you are still working your regular job. Awesome. Some of you have a side hustle, and some of you have your side hustle that has a side hustle. That's fine. But I want you to get to a place to where, what's the focus? Is the focus looking good or actually doing good? You know, this is something, unfortunately, that happens in some of our communities, and that we focus more on looking blessed than we are at actually being blessed. We get to the point where now we'd rather look like we're doing something than actually doing what we should be doing. Are you doing the same thing in your business? I guarantee if you're doing your finances, you're chasing your tail right now because you're trying to figure out, okay, I want to catch up with, yeah, we don't want you to do that. We want you to stay focused on the priorities that will get you to where you're going. And that might mean that you have to look at it from another perspective. What's going to get me to where I'm going? Okay, what's going to get me to where I'm going? Let's go forward. Then we got misplaced blame. This is one that I like my doggy picture because you can go have a hard day, come home and beat up on the people that had nothing to do with what you're doing. It's almost like you're having a hard day going home and you're kicking a dog. Having a hard day going home, you're gonna push the dog away. You know how the dog loves you. Same thing happens when it comes to your business and your life. Where are you placing blame that's in the wrong place? In other words, maybe, just maybe, what you're going through right now is because of your personal choices. Maybe, just maybe, it's not the other person. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're putting the blame in the wrong areas for why you're not where you want to be. And I want you to focus on what really is going on. Is it really ever somebody's complete fault that things are the way they are. If I'm talking to you, just type in the chat, you're talking to me. Because there's a lot of times we'll blame others, my boss, my dog, my cat, my husband, my significant other. It's because of them that I'm not doing what I need to be doing. No, I don't believe anyone can make you do what you don't want to do. You do what you want to do because you want to do it. You got to make sure now that we're not misplacing the blame, getting our priorities messed up, and we're not focusing on what we should really be focused on. If you're focused on why you can't do it, wrong focus, misplaced. I need you to focus on why you should be doing it, why it's so important that you do it. Some of you, I don't know if you read my post earlier, but I am feeling such a sense of urgency. Have you ever sat back and thought about how much time you really have left? If you looked at the days, months, hours, how many more wake-ups do you have? How much more time do you really have? Does anyone really know? So maybe our priorities are misplaced, that we're focused that, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it the next day. Or I'll have that when I'm 60. What if you don't make 60? Why don't you start right now, real quick, guys? Imagine the doctor told you got 2 weeks to live. 2 weeks. Now, some of you, I know what you're going to say. YOLO, I'm about to live it up. I'm about to get it. No, I'm not talking about that. What would you do to leave a legacy in 2 weeks? What are the things that you've been thinking about, but you haven't focused on? You put it to the side and you focused on some other stuff that has nothing to do with your dream, nothing to do with your vision, nothing to do with what you really want in life. So the doctor says, hey, you got 2 weeks to live. And you say, you know what, I got 2 weeks to formulate legacy. Some of you would write a book in 2 weeks. I would bet $10,000 that some of you can write a book within 2 weeks. And that same book you've been working on for 5 years. Yeah, I said, I'm talking to you. Some of you got books in your closet that you have half written, and you're sitting there like, well, I don't know. Now the opportunity is here this Saturday. Am I plugging or am I plugging? To be a part of a class to finish writing your book. All right? So opportunity comes, but the question is, are you going to take advantage of the opportunity? What is your priority? Is your priority finishing what you started? Or is your priority working on other stuff that don't mean nothing? I mean, come on, think about this, guys. Honestly, what are you doing right now that won't produce the results you really want? I called you out. What are you doing right now? Terrell, I'm calling you out, bro. You know, Roscoe's, I got to be honest. You can't go to LA and not go to Roscoe's. That's like, you go to hell, I think, if you didn't do that. So I'm glad you did. But tonight, as you jump on that treadmill, I want you to think about all that chicken you've been eating. So I might need you to get about 3 miles in. Do one more for the chicken. Do one more for the chicken, okay? So do 3 miles tonight. You said 2, do 3. Anyway, focus. Focus on what you want. Getting to that place now to where you're not putting the blame on things for why you can't do it. Well, I don't have time. If you had 2 weeks to live, how would you make that time be spent if that 2 weeks you had to build a legacy? All right? Process that for a moment as I go a little further, okay? And we're talking about misplaced focus. All right, so misplaced focus, misplaced priorities, misplaced blame. Now, how about misplaced anger? Now I'm gonna get a few of y'all, I'm gonna get a few, I know I'm not trying to be religious, so I'm not trying to get the amens, but if you might wanna get you know what, you hollering at me. But where is your anger misplaced? Are you focused on what other people did to you? So to the point that they got you discombobulated? To me, there's nothing worse than someone that walks around angry all the time. If you're angry all the time, how can you accomplish anything? Your focus is so jacked up on what they did to you, how they did it, whoop, 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 whoop. And they skipping, they down the Ferris wheel, taking the Ferris wheel, they down at Knoxberry Farm. They ain't even thinking about you, but you sitting over there mad, focused on what they did, and they doing it to somebody else. And the sad thing is, in some cases, you allowed it to happen. There's an old saying from South Carolina, that's where I'm from. It says some things you actually brought on yourself. If I'm talking to you, just type you're talking to me. Some things you actually brought on yourself, and now it's got you angry. You know, you married that joker. Did I say that? I did. You hung out with that. You did this. So now I need you to ask yourself, was that misplaced focus? Now don't get upset. Not yet. Save some of that upsetness. I got some more things to tell you that's gonna make you get a little more upset. Okay? Now, anger misplaced. You got to be careful that you don't put people ahead of your priorities on what you're really trying to accomplish. Don't allow the anger that you have for someone to stop you from moving forward in your dreams, your vision, your goal on what you're trying to accomplish. Okay? Next thing, one word, gaslighting. This is important, and I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. Gaslighting is emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation. In other words, it's like someone you're talking to and they turn the story on you to make you feel like you actually were the problem. And before you know it, they got you tripping on something that you didn't even do. Some of you are victims of being gaslighted. Now, some of you do a lot of gaslighting yourself. In other words, you take things that really are your fault and you try to make it somebody else's fault. This is misplaced focus because now you're blaming other people for what you allowed. Right now, if you have people in your house that ain't supposed to be in your house, and you mad they're in your house, and you focused on them being in your house, well, number one, they should have never been in your house. I'm just throwing it out there. You want to be careful that you don't start putting that focus in the wrong areas, especially on things that you might have caused. Gaslighting. I thought that was so interesting because you can emotionally manipulate even yourself into believing it's somebody else's fault in how you're in a situation, when really you created the debt. Yes, I said that you created the debt. You focused so much on getting things that you couldn't afford that now you ended up in a place you didn't want to be. And now you're trying to get out of it. And the great news is you're going to do it, but you got to trust the process. Okay? So I told you to save some of the anger. Don't get mad too soon. I got a lot more to tell you. Right focus. So write these down. Here's the right focus. I need you to focus on execution. Somebody type in the chat for me, execute. Get to a place now to where we're not focused on what we're going to do. We're actually doing it. Get to a place that you're actually going to say what you do and do what you say. Remember my 4 agreements. Number 1 is be impeccable with your word. And that's what we dealt with these last 30 days. The challenge for you to actually stick to what you said. Now, some of you did a great job. Some of you, but we're going to keep working on that. It's important. It's a part of your integrity. But focus on execution. Write that down. Wherever you got to write it at. Stop spending time on things that don't matter. Okay? Focus on how am I going to execute what needs to be done. I need to write a book. Hey, book class on Saturday. Okay, another plug. Get to a place, guys, to where you start now taking advantage and get your right focus. Okay? Also, I want you to start focusing on income. Write that down. Income. Stop focusing on your debt, your bills, gas prices. If I hear one more person talk about gas prices, I'm just going, I'm gonna get some white powder, put it in my hand, and Here's the thing you have to tell yourself. I'm not gonna catch the bus. Maybe you will. I'm not gonna get a skateboard. Certain things I'm just not gonna do. So if that ain't gonna happen, then that means I just gotta pay the gas prices. So why focus on it? Stop focusing on what is so minute in such a small part of your life. All right? Focus on the big stuff, like the income to not have to worry about the gas price. If gas prices go up to $1,000, I don't care. Because the only thing I'm gonna focus on is the income to cover the doggone $1,000. Makes sense? If it makes sense, just type in the chat, makes sense. Because if I'm focused on income will knock out a lot of other stuff. Okay? What's gonna make you income? Okay? So that's number 2. So first you're gonna execute, right? Then you're going to actually focus on income. How can I bring other streams in? I want you to get to a point, I'm gonna throw this out there, stop spending to consume and start spending to increase income. Invest in yourself. Find ways like this Zoom, like this coaching group, like my coaching program. Get into something that you can invest that would pour back into you. I have so many stories that just on this Zoom, others that ain't even on this Zoom, that we've worked together. I just got my first judge that now is running for office. She's been thinking about this for 10 years. Boom, she just put her papers in this week. She's running for judge. Her name is Judge Mari Parlay. So vote for her, wherever she's at. Vote for my girl, okay? Vote for her. But these are people that I'm coaching. I got a doctor that she threw it, her the towel, wasn't gonna finish her PhD, and now she's finishing her PhD. So I want you to focus on what matters, okay? There are people that have done it, so you can't say it can't be done because others have done it. So focus, income, income, income. So don't spend to consume. So if it doesn't make you dollars, it don't make sense. You need to write it, make a t-shirt on that. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, okay? So don't do what you don't need to be doing in this season, all right? And then the last thing is, I want you to focus on expansion. Expansion. Next month, I'm actually gonna be doing a special group for your team, to where now I want to invite your team members or prospective team members to jump on this Zoom. And for the whole month of July, I'm going to teach them how to help and serve you. Because some of you, you've got to get to a place to where they understand your mission, their mission, and getting them to where you need them to be to help you get to where you're going. All right? So what are the three things again? Right focus. Three things of right focus is what? Execute, income, expansion. Execution, income, expansion. I need to get that in your head because I don't want you focused on the wrong stuff. All right? So real quick, you know me, guys. I finished my monologue. Now it's time for a little dialogue. I need to hear from you guys because what's going on now is now I've given you this information. I made you a little angry. I felt you. I felt some of y'all like, I can't believe you just said that. Yeah, I said it. Once you're free, you can actually help free others. So I want to free you tonight from the misplaced focus, focusing on the wrong stuff. All right, real quick, Miss Sharia, great to see you on tonight. What did you gather in my short monologue that can help you on tonight? What's that nugget?
I loved all of it. The execute, income, expansion, but the just misplace of all the acronyms, the anger, the blame. It is very important because I live by it's of within game. So as long as you're looking within and you're always looking at yourself, I don't think I have time to be blaming other people. Self accountability is one big one for me, especially with our topic, us being impeccable, having integrity, and just I like to say, like Nike, just do it. Learning to just have that just do it attitude. It's been working for me, and I really liked how you explained how it's easy for us to put blame on everything else but ourselves, so it still goes back to that, making sure that we're looking within, because if we can't change ourselves, you definitely ain't gonna change the world.
I love it. Become the change you want to see. Become what you want, and also get to a point to where you're focused on what. If I can get you guys to focus, and just that one thing, and I was sharing with my team today. I was talking to my staff, and I was sharing with them that I'm built that way. I focus on the priorities of what I'm trying to accomplish, and ultimately, the things I want to come do are so big. It's going to take a lot of income. And so that means that why should I focus on how big the problem is? I should focus on the solution and then focus on the income that's going to come through that. Wow. So it's one of those things. So Thank you so much for sharing, Cherie. I appreciate that. Who else? Who else? What else should you get tonight? Who else got a nugget tonight? I could volunteer you, but you can just open up your chat and you can tell me what you got. Give me a nugget. Ooh, y'all mighty quiet, mighty quiet.
I give another one, sir. The misplaced priorities was a big one. I do have an employee, and she has done a numerous of things that like calling off, giving the excuses to call off. And when you're in the other seat, you really realize that that's not a main focus, hearing people excuses, sound different when you're on the other side of the seat. Trying to get her to understand that I need you to prioritize meeting strangers, not family and friends, because family and friends are not going to be the people who support you. It's going to be strangers. So that meeting priority was a big one, a big nugget tonight.
Good, good. Thanks for sharing. Good, good. All right, Angie, I saw you opened up. What'd you get? What'd you get?
Yeah, mine was the positive attitude. I like that one. Staying positive, not focusing on the negative or what could have gone wrong or what's wrong, is how it's going to get fixed and how you're moving forward. How you just going to keep moving forward and not let that whatever happened just stop you from your process. So I like that positive attitude.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think the biggest key for most people is like anything, they say it takes 7 positive thoughts to cancel 1 negative thought, to where we can get so caught up in what we don't want to happen that we stay focused on that. It's like, I'm focused on, it's like I hear people talk about debt, get rid of debt. And it seems like the more you focus on debt, guess what you keep getting? I do believe the law of attraction, it does work, sometimes in reverse. For some of you might even understand what I'm about to say next. You can actually do a self-fulfilled prophecy, to where you can say something so long, and then when it happens, then you act surprised. I can't believe it happened. You've been talking about it happening. What am I gonna do? What is us gonna do? What is us gonna do? And it's like, stop it. Stop looking for the worst to happen when ain't nothing happened yet, because you haven't executed. I promise you guys, if you execute more, you'll think less. And now you'll do more. Can I say this? I've said it before, I'll say it 50 million times. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Get to a place you start executing, and I promise you, it will change everything else you're trying to do. Dr. Tiffany, I'm so glad you're on board. Thoughts, what'd you get tonight? Give me a good nugget, something that you might have picked up that said, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too shabby.
Good. Okay, so I got so many good things. But the one thing I got, it was it says under your misplaced priorities, you were talking about where is your focus, and close deals and make sales. Like how do you have business if you're not focused on closing deals and making sales? And what do you do versus how good you look versus how good you're doing?
Wow. Okay.
All right. Like you can have a
Man,
website,
I appreciate that.
clothes and all of that, but if you're not making the ends meet, what are you really doing? And so it's like change your focus, change your perspective.
That's good. That's good. Thank you so much for that input. That's good stuff right there. I appreciate that. We definitely want to shift those mindsets, because unfortunately, it's something that we have to unlearn. I believe it's something we've learned from watching other people, and now we have to unlearn some things to really get to where we want to get to. Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate that. T, what'd you get on tonight?
Man, I consider each. I think this is a spiritual group for the most part, but I consider these weekly meetings like Bible study. You know what I mean? Like you always dropping a good nugget to the group, and it's just up to us, up to myself to to do something with it the rest of the week. But I mean, you hit it right in the head. My mindset has definitely changed. I talk about legacy with you quite regularly, talk about the family. So just, reiterating, saying some of the things you say during these calls to myself on Friday, on Monday, on Tuesday, until we get to the next call. So that's what I get mostly each week. That's why I continue to join. There's always something I take away. Like, again, inflation, everybody's talking about inflation. Everybody's talking about the prices going up. I really haven't been bothered by that. I'm going to focus on how to get more money. So that's not even an issue for me. So I know that's definitely what I've been thinking about. And to hear you say it today is just confirmation and affirmation. So I appreciate the weekly calls and the nuggets you drop each week.
Man, I appreciate you being on board. That's amazing. Actually, I just this week came up with a powerful thought and line of what you said is I now, and I actually posted this for some of you that are watching me on Facebook and social media, I am recession proof. In other words, my family, my legacy is recession proof. That means that no matter what happens, recession can't touch me. Matter of fact, remember that old adage that they said when people were talking about you? It says, I'm rubber and you're glue. What you say about me bounces off of me and sticks to you. I believe that about depression, recession, all those things now can't touch me because I'm free from that. And like you said, now it's just a matter of focusing on the right thing, which is now, if you really look at this time, we're in the best time of our lives. The opportunities abound now. Man, in fact, I saw my Bitcoin stock drop in half. I'm like, yes, time to buy more. It's all perspective. Thank you, T. I appreciate the comments, man. Appreciate the thoughts. That's awesome. All right. Delshawn, let me see. No, I see Alicia. Alicia, what'd you get on tonight? I don't know if you're working though. You might be on work.
Stop focusing on things that are not necessary worth my time. And so I have been doing that. I've been getting a lot more done because I stopped focusing on everybody else's stuff that's not making me any money. And then the part where you said that, what could I do within 2 weeks? Yeah, I could produce a book. I've got books sitting up in my closet that I have not put out. So thank you. I'm definitely going to stop stalling on that. So.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I believe we have the right people at the right time, and now we just got to get the right focus. And let's get it done. Let's execute. I want you to execute, guys. Let's make this thing pop off. Thanks, Alicia. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's see. Sharday, I know you just jumped on. I don't know if you got a little nugget.
I didn't get to hear what you said at all because I was struggling to get in. But I do want to. It's okay. Sorry, I'm breathing hard. I was running up the stairs. But I do want to say this. I ended up getting a job, right? And I didn't apply for the job. They actually found me. It's going to add like almost $40,000 more to what I'm making now.
What?
And yes. So I was thinking about what you said, how like this is just extra seed, so that way it can take me to where I'm really supposed to be and where God is taking me. So I know with that extra money that I'll be able to put in towards my business and really get a really good vendor to like really help me out with my shirts and everything. So that way I can really be making some money. Like I'm really excited about that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Use that seed to produce the right type of harvest. I love it. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. So great job, Sharday. Look at you stepping out there and trying to make some things happen. I get it. And once again, I believe that you attract good things when you focus on good things.
Yeah.
Great job. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. That's good stuff. I still had a few people that couldn't jump on. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to do some serious apologizing here after this meeting. But I apologize to you guys once again for the time of getting in. So let's go real quick. I'm almost there. I want to share with you. the last question, what are you really focused on? I want you to ask yourself, what is your true focus? Or better yet, what should you be focused on for what you're trying to do? Whether it be in your business, in your home, in your life, what should you really be focused on? I want you to write that down, and tonight as homework, I want you to ask yourself, what's really the priorities here? What really is the focus? What are we trying to accomplish? And then I want you to start looking at it, write it down, and then start pushing towards it. If nothing else, I every single day read my goals. Anybody else do that? If you don't, I want you to, the goals that you wrote in January, you can't just put them down and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. No, because you can't focus on what you don't see. So I read my goals. I have 22 that I focus on every single morning. And it keeps me to where now, because remember, everyone gets off focus. The journey is getting back refocused quickly. So you don't want to be off focus for 2 weeks. You might want to be off focus for an hour, and then you jump right back in it. But because I look at my goals every day, I'm focused on what I'm trying to accomplish. And that way it keeps me going. Sometimes, to be honest, guys, it gets me out the bed. It'll be like, no, forget that. We got these 22 things here we need to accomplish. And right now, the 22 things I wrote down, I've accomplished 7, 8. I was marking out the list, but 8 of those things have already come to pass. And only because, once again, my focus was on them. I didn't take my focus off. Okay? So get focused in the right area. Now, real quick, 30-day results. I need to hear your results. So I need 2 people, because my time is running out. 2 people that's going to give me 2 results from their 30-day challenge.
I didn't have a 30-day challenge because I wasn't here long enough.
Ah.
However, I have a 15-day challenge. And today I'm actually having my first meet and greet for the dance company.
That's what I'm talking about. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's what I'm talking about. See, you did in half the time what it could have took 30 days to do. Awesome, amazing. All right, anybody else? Give me some quick results. I need to let you know it's gonna get harder from here. This is the easy stuff.
I already have the first flyer out for the writing workshop this Saturday, but I also have the other flyer done because on Saturday I'll drop that one for the self-publishing intensive workshop so people can jump on in and I can tell them exactly what they need to do to self-publish their own book the next Saturday.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, is this your first session? These are first time you're doing these, or have you done these before?
For first timers.
First, wow, look at this, man. It's gonna be hot. I'm excited to hear those results. I'm excited. We're gonna really blow this thing up. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, I'm glad to hear you had some results. We're gonna work on the next challenge and do some other stuff, but here's the thing. What's stopping you from being the best version of you? In other words, what's stopping you from really going all in? Remember that I gave you a story. What if you only had 2 weeks to live, but you had 2 weeks to build your legacy? What would be left behind? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be? Somebody can say, hey, that person actually did ... Okay, not what they thought about. Because here's something I want to drop on you, bombshell. People are dying while you're making up your mind to do what you should be doing. Yes, people are dying while you're making up your mind to do what you should be doing. How many people are unemployed? How many people don't have the things that you would do with the money that you would get once you receive it? Start asking yourself the hard questions, okay? Why do I need a performance coach? I think it's simple, performance. You guys know me now. I'm all about results. I want to see if we put this together, how can we make this happen? In other words, my question is going to be, what do you want? And what are you willing to do to make it happen? Because the question is not, can it happen? Is what are you willing to do to make it happen? Okay? So what I do is pretty much, I use what you already got and I just pull it out of you and push you into where you really want to go by focusing you in on what you say you want, and now getting rid of the stuff that you don't want. Because sometimes we focus so much on what we don't want that we don't really get to where we want because we're focused on the other stuff. So as a performance coach, I'm going to get you to perform and finish what you're doing. Accountability, guys, close the gap between intention and results. In other words, you've been intending to do a lot of stuff. Now, some of you that have been with me for a while, you're actually doing it. You're actually now in what you said you would do. You have now made yourself a person of integrity because now you're doing what you said. Powerful. So accountability helps with that. Of course, don't go it alone, guys. Don't ever do this by yourself. Trust me, there's so many resources that we have to offer to get you pointed in the right direction. All right. Of course, you guys know the list of things that I do. I do just about everything. And what I don't do, I have other people do. And so it's important that you know that not only are we going to talk about what you're going to do, we're actually help you do those things. And we have the resources and the people available and a broad enough network to bring it all together for you. Okay. Last thing, value exchange. As you're on this Zoom, I hope that you got some value tonight. I hope that you got something that's going to shift you, change you, rearrange you, and bring you to the point that you're ready to get going in the right direction. Okay. Now with that value exchange, the way this group works is we have a $99 monthly, I don't want to call it fee. I actually want to call it blessing to yourself. Learning how to be important enough to know what you need and focus knowing that, hey, I need this. I need this group. I need these words of encouragement. I need someone that's going to point me in the right direction and get me where I'm going. The way you can do it, of course, you see my Cash App, my Zelle, hit me up. Those of you that are new, once you make your first purchase, then we're able to now give you a call, do an assessment, sit, talk, find out what you're trying to do, help you get there. Now, some of you are on this next level. And this next level is my individual coaching, which is $1,099 per month. And it's about to go up. Only because right now I'm actually getting to where I can't add too many more people to what I'm already doing. Like I said, we're just getting through a couple people that are doing and built their business within 30 days. In 30 days, I've helped now 2 people that from start to finish are now, we started with a thought, now their business is getting ready to open. Matter of fact, one of them I'm working on getting them locked into their first contract. So we don't just talk about this thing, we do this thing. But I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Any last words? Anybody have a question that I can answer real quick? I know I have about 2 more minutes because I started a little late, but anyone have a business question that they want to ask that I might be able to assist with? Going once, going twice. Some of you, I see you moving toward there. Oh, go ahead, go for it.
My question was, when trying to create an original contract, do you have a resource for that? Like when you want to create a contract that involves money exchange with long-term payments, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. You can start with a joint venture agreement. I would go to Rocket Lawyer. You pay $1 and they'll give you some samples that you can actually use and make it to what you need it to be. And really, what you're doing is a joint agreement between yourself and the person that you're bringing along. And then that way, now you make certain guarantees, they make certain guarantees. And I think that makes a big difference. Now, it's not just something you're doing, but now it becomes actually a contract. I'm here to help you. All right. But Rocket Lawyer, pay $1 and get the samples. Or of course, Google is always your friend. But I wouldn't say do it from scratch because somebody else has done it. Just a matter of now making sure it works. All right. Any other questions? Anybody else? Tiffany, did you have something? Look, you're waving your hand around. Just wave your hands in the air. You good? Okay. All right. All right, guys. Well, that is it. That's tonight. Appreciate you. Sorry for the difficulty getting on the Zoom, but I appreciate your persistence. Many of you persisted to get on the Zoom tonight. I will make sure that I post this by tomorrow for those that I unfortunately did not get to. So tomorrow's a new month. I want to remind you, next month, I am inviting you to have your team members, prospective team members, sign on, sign up. We're actually going to be going into helping you build your team, okay? And I want to make sure that you get a solid team and also help you to tell the team what the team need to know. And also I'm going to help you know what to tell the team so you can get the team working and doing what you need to do. All right. Some of you might be like, well, I really don't need a team. You might need a virtual assistant. You might need something that's going to help you get you to the next level. I guarantee you that what I'm going to show you is going to change the game. It's going to help you develop and build something that will now propel you to go forward. All right. Well, you guys be great. I got nothing but love for you. I'm going to see you next week. Those of you that are jumping on and joining, shoot me an email. Once you take care of that payment, I'll jump right on it and I'll start now getting my assessments done so I can actually make sure that we can help you and how we can help you. All right. You guys have a great day. Be great. See you soon. Bye.